Fertility acupuncture is said to help improve blood circulation, support hormone health, and help reduce stress and inflammation in your body. And I truly believe that doing fertility acupuncture before my egg retrieval helped me achieve the results that we got. If you didn't follow our egg retrieval video, I'll put a video up on the screen somewhere. But this time around, we are preparing for our frozen embryo transfer. And so, of course, I've decided to return back to fertility acupuncture. So come with me, be on fly on the wall during my appointment today. But before then, I have to get ready. I'm definitely not going to show up like this. So when I started my IVF journey, I shared my journey with a couple of people who I knew had already gone through the experience. And after speaking with them, some of them suggested trying fertility acupuncture. And so because one of my friends actually lives locally, I asked if she had any recommendations and she suggested this spot. I really love coming here because the person who runs the place is so sweet and so knowledgeable about everything to do with fertility. For example, when I showed up, I told her I had PCOS, and rather than having to educate her on what that looks like for me, she kind of reassured me that everything that I was going through was all to blame on the PCOS, which was amazing because a lot of people sometimes before they get to know what PCOS is, they attribute things like weight gain to you and how it's kind of like your fault that you got to that place. But realistically, if you have PCOS, a lot of it is out of your control unless you know how to support your PCOS health. So for me, when I got diagnosed with PCOS almost 3 years ago, I had already gained like 50 pounds and I wasn't eating much differently than I had the years before. And I know your body changes, but for me, one of the ways my body changed was that the hormone balances were all off. And so I had to adapt a completely new lifestyle to get back to where I was before my PCOS really took its toll on my body. And during my appointment with Tracy, that's her name, she told me that a lot of people who have PCOS have the same experience as me. And so it really made me feel less alone and understood right off the bat when I first met her. If you want to know how I got my life back after being diagnosed with PCOS and losing 50 pounds, definitely check out the video that I have on my channel about that. So for my frozen embryo transfer, of course, I needed to come back and do as many appointments as I could with her. Unfortunately, she's going away, and so I will only be able to see her twice before my transfer. And so I will be on the lookout for clinics in Toronto. But I'm not going to worry about that today. I'm going to go to my appointment and just enjoy and take in all the benefits that come with this session. Before starting acupuncture here, I used to be so nervous about the needles. And honestly, they don't hurt that much. It feels a little bit like a prick, and sometimes there are needles that sting a little, but it passes as you continue on with the session. So once the needles are in, you're kind of good to go. When I'm there, I usually just want to fall asleep because it's so relaxing. What surprised me about fertility acupuncture was that the needles don't only go on your stomach, they go all over your body, in your hands, in your legs, and even sometimes your face. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous about the face ones, but they were totally fine too. This is me as a unicorn in another session. I spend most of my time on my back during these sessions, but after a couple of minutes, usually around 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I switch to being on my stomach. I forgot to mention too, I really love the heat lamp that they have here. It just kind of makes you feel all nice and cozy, especially since you have a bunch of your clothes kind of lifted up for the needles. And honestly, after the session, I feel so relaxed. I could just go home and take a nap. And as somebody who likes to keep busy, this is not really typical Amanda behavior. And so even if you're not going through fertility treatments, if you are finding that you're stressed out or struggling with sleep, I think acupuncture would be a great solution for you. I know it's something I will always return to, even outside of this experience. One of the biggest questions I get asked when it comes to acupuncture too is, when should you start doing it before egg retrieval? So again, I'm not a medical professional. I can only share what I did during my experience. And when I did my egg retrieval, I did it around 6 weeks before my actual surgery. I also did an appointment after the surgery to help with all of the bloating and inflammation in my body. And if I could go back and do it all again, I would do the exact same thing because I was really happy with the outcome that we got. And for frozen embryo transfers, I see a lot of people doing their appointments before the frozen embryo transfer and immediately after. And so I'm definitely gonna try to do that as well. All right, so that's everything. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments. And be sure to like and subscribe if you want to continue following my fertility journey.